Good morning. Well, that was great. Just one try. That was perfect. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples, which is you. My name is Tony Fisher and I serve you as your minister. Great to be here. Great to be with you. I'd like to give thanks this morning, gratitude for our Progressive Voices team who produced a wonderful series this year after a year off last year, bringing that series back. There are so many to be thanking. The court organizing team of Ann Fisher, Kathy Gorski, Jack Motor, Roger and Leslie Frick, Sandy Cunningham, and so many other things. Speaker hosts Kristen Mouchette, Joan Benz, Janet Hoffman, a lot of the crew, which are numerous, and thank you. Anybody involved in that, would you please rise and accept everybody's thanks. Hopefully, we'll have a series again next year, and that depends on some of you sort of maybe stepping forward and also taking part as one of those members. So keep that in mind. It is my honor, my pleasure to remind you of the Weekend Meals for Kids program. And Dan, if you could show that slide or two that's up there. If you don't know, our Weekend Meals program feeds over 150 children in our school systems. We bring them very healthy bags of food to take over the weekend. It's enough for them and perhaps some of their family. The students are very grateful, and those who are involved here are, I come in on Wednesday morning and they're already hard at work. They're buzzing, they're working, they're happy. It's a great project of this congregation. So the Weekend Meals program is available, is possible because of your donations. So it's my honor to remind you that donations will be accepted by mail, mailing a check to the church or dropping a check in the offering plate and listing Weekend Meals on the memo line. So don't forget, very important program. Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I'm about to introduce you.
Oh, okay.
So, outside in the foyer, you can find these blue sheets which have a lot of information about what's going on in the congregation. There's a lot happening even this week. There's healthy eating tomorrow. There's coffee house on Wednesdays. There's a great concert this afternoon, which Sean is hoping he can tell you about.
Hi. This afternoon at 4 o'clock, Andy Wahlberg, singer, songwriter, and storyteller, will be here out on the pavilion. There will be snacks and wine available. It's the last of our concert series of the season. Please come, and if you don't have a ticket, you can just get one this afternoon. So thanks so much, and hope you all can come. Thanks.
And last but not least, for members of this congregation, please remember to be here next Sunday, because right after the service, we have our annual meeting where we do the business of the congregation, elect new members to the Board of Trustees and to our endowment board. We're going to have a bylaw to pass, and we'll pass the budget. So please be here next week as members, and we'll get that done relatively quickly. And finally, it's my joy to have Patty Bryan as our worship associate today.
Thank you, Tony. And good morning. We are so glad that you've joined us, whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching us on Facebook Live at home or sitting out on our pavilion. Know that we are always welcome here. We are a welcoming congregation, freely seeking intellectual and spiritual growth. We strive to create a larger community of peace, justice, and love. Here we learn and grow together and try to live our values out in public. If you're new to the congregation, we're especially grateful that you found us. Our hope is to make you feel welcome and help you find ways to connect. And now, let's take a deep breath and settle ourselves into this time of worship with the morning's prelude.
The same stream of life that runs through our veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It's the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous leaves and flowers. It's the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death in ebb and flow. May our limbs be made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and our pride stem from the life throb of ages, dancing in our blood this moment. Let's join together in the chalice lighting response on the screen and in your order of service. May this flame stir our hearts and remind us of our mission to be truly welcoming, to grow in mind and spirit, and to widen the circle of peace, justice, and love. And let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn. It's number 207 in the gray hymnal. Earth was given as a garden. The words will be on the screen.
Earth was given as a garden, cradle for humanity. discovery. Here was hope for all your creatures born of land and sky and sea, all created in your image, all to live in harmony. Show to us again the garden where all life flows fresh and free. Gently guide your sons and daughters into full maturity. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power, how to touch the earth with reverence, lily and flower. Bless the earth and all your children, because whole, interwoven, all connected, planet-wide and inmost soul. Holy Mother, life bestowing, bid the waste and warfare cease. Fill us all with grace, flowing, reach us out to live in peace.
Please be seated. In the beginning, about 4.6 billion years ago, the Earth, having spun itself out of a disk of solar debris, was a spinning ball of molten lava with surface temperatures well above 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Imagine a black, hot surface with hot red lava showing here and there under an orange-red carbon dioxide sky. It's no wonder that scientists named this the Hadean era, after Hades, Greek god of the underworld. The first continental crust formed after only 150 million years of cooling. And not too long after that, the first water appeared on the surface of the earth. As magma rose to the surface, it expanded and cooled, releasing dissolved gases, including water vapor. Just as in current-day magma fields, you will see steam rising from the cooling rock, rising with the heat of the surface into the atmosphere, forming clouds. Clouds produce rain. And so somewhere around 4.4 billion years ago, the first water cycle began. And within a relatively short time, say a mere 400 million years, much of the planet was submerged in water. These ancient oceans were a hot primordial soup, much saltier than today's oceans and loaded with chemicals. But during this time, the planet's fate was still undetermined. A dense carbon dioxide atmosphere acted like a blanket hugging the Earth, and it could have kept things too hot for liquid water to remain. But at some point, in one brief moment in Earth's long geological timeline, that primordial sea became the crucible of life. No one knows how. But replicating cells appeared, and soon in geologic time, a form of photosynthesizing bacteria began to use the sun's rays and convert the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere into chemical energy in the form of sugars, releasing oxygen back into the atmosphere as a byproduct. With that, the atmosphere began to change. And this interplay between water, life, and the atmosphere is what continues to keep our Earth at a moderate temperature, not too hot, not too cold, just right for liquid water, and so just right for life. Temperatures moderate enough, at least for the oxygen-breathing creatures that followed, including us. Life has perpetuated the liquid water on the surface of our planet for all subsequent geologic time. Aside from additional outgassing and water that may have come to the Earth through collisions with asteroids and comets, the water that was present at the beginning is the water that we have today. It is constantly cycling through the atmosphere, the oceans, the land, and below the surface, meaning that all those ancient water molecules are constantly being moved around and transformed, perpetuating life, perpetuating this blue planet. Let's join in singing our centering hymn, Find a Stillness. It's number 352 in the gray hymnal. The words will be on the screen.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold a silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find a true harmony. Seek the essence, own the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
This is a difficult time in our lives and in history, a time when so much is happening so quickly that it's hard to react, and such has been the case for the last couple of months. I want to honor all the anxiety that sits in this room, all the fear for self and family, for community. I want to recognize the reality of a nation in serious trouble. And yet our lives go on. We do what we can. We put one foot in front of the other. We try to do the best we can, living our values, seeking the good, trying to figure out what comes next. In that light, it's hard to ask you to hold your joys and sorrows to personal things, because I know everyone is feeling the angst. But this is a time of community sharing, a time where we share of ourselves to our fellow community members. I have a couple of sorrows, one small and one fairly large. First, our worship associate-to-be, Ed Ostrom, got a cold this week and couldn't be here, so we honor that and hope he's doing well. And some of you know that I found a half-sister a few years ago, 2.5 years ago. And it's a long story, but it was a wonderful reunion of people who didn't know the other existed until very recently. And we had 2.5 years of good communication, but unfortunately she passed away early yesterday morning. And it's a sadness that is difficult to describe. Someone found and then lost. So I honor Jan Weir, my half-sister, for her life and love. If you have a joy or sorrow you'd like to share, please raise your hand and I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart.
Hi, my name is Susan Beckwith, and I belong to this church. I joined in 2015 and came regularly until about 2020 when I went up north to take care of my parents. And I'm still there. And don't get back here very often. And my life has been very difficult and very challenging. But I need to let you know that one day, in like one of my darkest hours, my dad was dying, my mom has Alzheimer's, I was at the lowest of my lows. And all of a sudden, I get a call from Adrian, from the caring committee. And it made all the difference. I felt like I wasn't alone because I really was taking care of them all by myself. And I felt, at that moment, I felt loved. I felt somebody was recognizing my pain. And I just want to thank her because that moment she did more for me than I can explain. Simple acts of love and kindness are so important. Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
I am Skip Lundborg, and today I have a joy that takes me over the moon. This week, I became a great-grandfather again. It was a baby girl, hence the pink shirt today. Now, often when we hear this kind of news, we applaud. But today, if you'd like, at the end of this brief passage, maybe a "oh" would be the right noise. It should be. I don't deserve applause because my participation is about 3 generations ago. But if you feel the awe of a newborn life, celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm Georgia Hopeful, and I'd like to invite all of you to come to the Philharmonic and the Baker Museum to see their second floor, which is all about the Everglades, and it fits perfectly with today's topic.
Thanks, Georgia.
Hi, I'm Bill McCormick. I have a joy, actually a couple. Emerson Academy is going into its 8th year, so we are starting to get calls from kids who are graduating from college. So I had one yesterday, one of our first students, I think Tony met her, Lindsay Abelard, years ago, graduating from University of Richmond. She got a full ride to go to Penn in epidemiology. She also was accepted to Harvard, but Penn gave her a better deal. And second one was from Hopkins, and she's going to Dartmouth for a PhD in molecular biology. And then we have a couple in law school, so we're pretty happy with how it's turning out.
It's turning out great. And thank you for all that you do for those kids. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lagaya Bibi, and I want to share a joy. It's a little bit past due, but Robert Frediani, who is our youngest child, turned 3 years old this month. So if you see him, you can wish him a happy belated birthday.
Great. Thank you. All right.
Morning, I'm Cynthia Scher. I have both a joy and a sorrow. My joy is that recently my son got engaged, and I'm thrilled. He's just over the moon about this girl, and I haven't met her yet, but I will soon. And my sorrow is that a friend of mine was recently diagnosed with breast cancer and is having surgery early April, so I'm just keeping her in my heart, and I ask that you do the same. Thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Hello, I'm Joanne Womack, and I have a big joy. We saw my granddaughter last night. She is 17, getting ready to go to graduate school. No, getting ready to graduate from high school. And she applied for lots of schools, and she just got the announcement that she's been accepted to no, I can't remember. Smith? Is it Smith? Brown? It's a women's school in outside of Boston. It's supposed to be very prestigious, as in Madeleine Albright went there, and lots of other people did too. No, it's not Wellesley.
Okay.
It's another one close to Wellesley. So anyway, we're all thrilled for her. I don't know how she's going to handle the cold. She's not been in cold weather for a long time, but she'll make it.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Grateful for all those. Yeah, guessing games during joys and sorrows. That's good. Thank you. Grateful for all those joys and sorrows that were spoken, acknowledging once again all those sorrows and anxieties and fears that we hold. Let's join together in the spirit of meditation. Water of life, water of baptism, water that cleanses and heals, water that breaks down and destroys, water of swamps and sloughs, water contained in the rolling sea ice, soft groundwater, tenderly upwelling to green a barren landscape. Let us listen to the water for the wisdom we can hear, the singing chuckle of a creek, the roar of a waterfall, the calm assurance of a great river, the crash of a seawall, the quiet privacy of fog. Rain washing or slashing or downpouring or falling gentle as a leaf. The soft healing or bitter springing of joyful welling of tears. Let us be grateful for this substance of life. Let us listen carefully. And like water, may we be a solvent dissolving all hate and fear. Let's spend some time in silence.
now, more about water. This is Listening to the Spirit of Water by Chief Tamale Bwaya. Chief Tamale Bwaya is the Grand Chief in the Buganda Kingdom, a Bantu kingdom within Uganda in East Africa. He supervises cultural activities, serves as a spiritual arbitrator, and facilitates rehabilitation and purification ceremonies. He co-founded several cultural and traditional medicine institutions at local and national levels and participated in formulating a legislative system that governs traditional medicine in Uganda. He has attended several interfaith and spiritual gatherings across the world and occasionally speaks on our spiritual and moral obligations to Mother Earth. From a spiritual perspective, planet Earth is seen as an irregular ball immersed in water. If the sacred gift of Earth is life, then water is the keeper of life. Nearly all living beings contain large amounts of water in their bodies. Water facilitates all of their functions. Atmospheric space, too, consists of elements of water in vapor or in gaseous form. Therefore, water is the reconnecting element between our materialistic life and spiritual world. Human beings cannot be co-creators without adherence to the fundamental phenomenon of nature. And water is a major element to study and carefully handle. It's through water that we are physically and spiritually interrelated and interconnected with the living and non-living beings of Earth and to the whole of life. Through the conventional systems, water connects mountains with valleys, plants with animals, by sharing products or byproducts essential to each. Hence, water facilitates the natural phenomenon of interdependence. Our developmental policies, which portray water as a commodity to be traded and taxed to enrich some individuals, must be changed. Water is a right for all. Nature provides it freely with the rains. Governments should raise external resources to enable the free distribution of water to all citizens. And natives should be involved in the management of sacred natural resources. Let's awaken the silent energies of the planet by uniting as communities to live in harmony with the spirits of life, and let's work directly with nature. Here is one path by which we shall reconnect to the silent value of water and to nature as a whole for the benefit of humanity and the well-being of an interconnected world community. And may I say, this is the most scientific thing I've read here out loud. And it has the most multisyllabic words in it.
Far beyond the grasp of hands, or light to meet the eye, past the reaches of the mind. There find the key to nature's harmony in an architecture so entwined. Like the birds whose patterns grace the sky and carry all who join in love expanding, the message of peace will rise in flight, taking the weight of the world upon its wings, in the oneness of everything. Still we seek to find a truth that we might understand and reduce to terms defined. Vast and immeasurable time and space, also overwhelmingly designed. Oh, passing years just might know the faith that winters in the heart to be reborn in spring, to hear and to feel the pulse of life that enters my soul as a song to sing of the oneness of everything.
Carl Jung, the great psychoanalyst, used to love to tell stories that had something to say about the human psyche. One of his favorites, I've come to understand, is the water of life. The water of life, wishing to make itself known on the face of the earth, bubbled up in an artesian spring and flowed without effort or limit in times of plenty and in times of drought. Once the spring was discovered, people came to drink of the magic water and were nourished by it, since it was so clean, so pure, so invigorating. And since the water seemed so plentiful, those who arrived from different places enjoyed a spirit of sharing and camaraderie. As word continued to spread about the life-giving waters, more and more people came. So a fence was built around the spring to protect it, to protect the purity of the crystalline water. And as even more people arrived, the paths to the spring became roads, and before too long, shops and buildings sprang up nearby. Gradually, as some people began to feel a sense of ownership, the fence around the spring became a wall, and they began to charge admission. And they made elaborate laws as to who could come to the spring. They put locks on the gate. And soon the spring was the property of the powerful and elite. The water of life was angry and offended. It stopped flowing and began to bubble up in another place altogether. Water still flowed at the original site, but it was not the same. The people who owned the property around the first spring were so engrossed in their power systems and their ownership that they didn't notice that the life-giving water had vanished. They continued selling the water, and few people really noticed that the true power was gone. But some people noticed, and realizing that things hadn't been right for some time, began to search with great courage and persistence, and finally found the new spring where the water of life flowed. unfortunately, it didn't take long for the whole process to repeat itself, and soon that spring was also under the control of the powerful. So the spring took itself to yet another place, and this has been going on throughout human history. Of course, Jung's story says a lot more about human nature than it does about water. And you can imagine the rich symbolism Jung brought forward in his analysis of the tale, not the least of which highlights the contrast between the natural, unhindered flow of the water of life and the human tendency to control, own, and commodify. Jung saw the spring as a powerful symbol of the unconscious, representing the source of life, vitality, and the potential for growth, creativity, and transformation. We'll return to that thought in a moment, but for now, we don't need to go too deep to know that we are powerfully impacted by water in ways that are both mundane and profound. It can be something we hardly think about when we turn on the spigot to wash at night. And it can be awesome and moving when we sit on the shore and watch the wind and waves work their magic. How many of you have a special place in nature, just anywhere? Any place have a special place in nature? Well, most everybody. How many of the keep your hands up if that place is near water? Yeah. And of course, anywhere you go, if your special place is in the forest or even in the desert, it is impacted by water. Water from the desert to the highlands. The poet, philosopher David Whyte speaks of a place that he tries to get you annually called the Seven Streams. It's a place in a remote part of the Burren Mountains of North Clare, Ireland. A place, he says, is both geographical and mythological. It's difficult to find, which enhances its reputation as a place of sanctity and healing. There, the pure water springs up from beneath a limestone escarpment, creating a clear, wide pool. David Whyte describes cupping his hands, drinking, and feeling a far inward symmetry to all the outer thirst-quenching clarity emanating from the limestone rock in the pure air. From the pool, the water flows down a short valley before disappearing underground, only to defy the laws of physics by appearing below a cliff as 7 separate streams. For Whyte, it's a place that always points to what is essential, what must be uncovered, and what must be let to rest and go its own way. There is something about water that allows us to connect. It allows us to connect to both our inner spheres and the outer world. Life on this planet is intertwined with water in countless ways, connecting the living and non-living. As Chief Boya says, the mountains and the valleys, the plants and the animals. The simple element unites us, binds us to our environment, and is essential to our survival. Water is life. And from our earliest times, human beings have recognized its vital importance. Our ancestors were as tied to sources of water as any other creature. All cultures and faiths, for them, water is a central element of ritual, purification, and spiritual cleansing. From Hinduism to Judaism, from Christianity to Islam, water connects us to our beliefs and practices, symbolizing purity, calmness, harmony with the environment. In Taoist philosophy, the expression, "be still like a mountain and flow like a great river," reminds us to learn from the natural world and its wonders and its waters. Even we Unitarian Universalists who take joy in understanding the science of water can appreciate its symbolism. We know that this molecule is integral to all known life, connecting us with the interdependent web of all existence. And we use it too as a symbol in our water ingathering ceremonies in the fall. In our world right now, so much is out of balance. As individuals and as society, we have forgotten how to be good stewards of the earth and of the water. Literally and figuratively, we have built up around too many springs and dumped too much in our streams and oceans. We have limited our own Earth's ability to renew this critical resource. And not only that, but in places like Sudan, where the water supplies have been impacted by human interference and global warming, where millions of people do not have access to healthy water, that access has been limited further by one faction in that unconscionable civil war. Water has been used as a weapon in Gaza as well. This has to stop. We need to stop treating as an ever-renewable resource and as a commodity, as a source of power. Access to this life-giving resource must be seen as a fundamental right, transcending commodification. We need to try as best we can to let the life springs of the natural world flow free. And perhaps we need to let our unconscious flow free as well, finding creative ways to respond to Earth's troubles, telling stories that lift up the deep spiritual connection we have with water, and becoming more conscious of its value and of the responsibility we bear, and commit to that responsible stewardship of this sacred gift that unites us all.
As we take time to reflect on today's words and music, let's also take time to show our gratitude for this community and all that it does. The morning's offering will be gratefully received. If you're watching from home, consider sending a contribution today. The information that you need in order to donate is right on the screen.
That was good. Carl Jung had another story he often shared about water, one that was brought to him by Chinese scholar and theologian Richard Wilhelm. It goes like this. In the ancient Chinese province of Kaochu, there was a drought so severe that many people and animals perished. Religious leaders attempted to solicit relief from their gods. They made processions and they said prayers. Some believers in the old Chinese way fired guns to frighten away the demons of the drought. Finally, out of desperation, the townspeople called upon the rainmaker. And from a province far away, there appeared a shriveled-up old man looking somewhat out of sorts. Without much conversation, the old man immediately requested a small hut somewhere on the outskirts of town, where he locked himself up for 3 days and nights in solitude. And then, on the 4th day, it rained. The town leaders asked him how he had made the rain. But the old man responded by exclaiming that he hadn't made the rain and that he wasn't responsible. Not satisfied with this response, the leaders pressed, "Then what did you do for those 3 days?" And the old man explained that he had come from another province where things were in order with nature. But here in Kaochu, things were out of order, and so he himself was out of order. Thus it took 3 days to regain Tao, and then naturally the rain came. To be in Tao is to recognize our oneness with all of nature. Or better yet, to recognize that we are nature, that humans and nature are the same, that the inner realm does touch upon the outer, that the rainmaker's ability to achieve Tao did touch upon the clouds, the moisture, the temperature, and wind. It's a mystifying idea indeed, because we in the modern Western world are not trained to see this interdependence. But in a place far beyond vast oceans and time, as we see in the Rainmaker story, all things are interconnected, including that which we think of as inner and outer. Let's rise and join together in singing our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home by Peter Mayer.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never poorer or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrims soul, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Breathe the infinite sail before me, sing my sky, my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Deep peace of a quiet rain to you, deep peace of a flowing stream to you, deep peace of a calm lake to you, deep peace of the ebbing tide to you, deep peace of the running wave to you. Go in peace, go in love. Please be seated for a postlude. Have a wonderful day.